one who has served. Part 4, A New Mission. July 18, 2014. Recently I was informed that I am a walk-in, entering into a human body during infancy. Believe me, this was an eye-opener to be sure, but there was a still greater shock still awaiting me, but I'll leave you in suspense for the time being. When I entered into this lifetime of service upon this planet, I came in determined to balance my karma, the karma of my walk out and what I could of others, to enable those whom I came to serve to finally come into their own. As a consequence of this sole decision, it has often been a difficult life. It has only been in the last couple of years that I can say with any degree of certainty that I have finally reached a place of self-knowledge and balance in my life. Due to the spiritual amnesia that I agreed to upon entering that childish body, I temporarily forgot who I was, and had to walk through this world believing that I was a human being. It has been a challenging, difficult journey this time, but one well spent. Yet, always there were threads of understanding that echoed in my heart and led me in several different directions. Some light workers have forged brilliant straight paths with their work, becoming world travelers, presenting material on stage and being well known. I was a wanderer, never quite settling on one way of doing things, but always attempting to listen to an inner feeling that seemed to guide me. I discovered that I knew things that didn't make sense to my family and friends. Not only did I know things, but I acted upon that knowledge. Little did I realize, but I was teaching myself how to listen to my own intuition. Puzzled for a long time why I didn't settle down into one teaching, I found myself sampling many rather like a butterfly, flying from one flower to another, and then moving on, yet again. It has only been recently that I have come to understand that these teachings have not been for me. Mostly they serve to remind me of what I had forgotten in the course of becoming veiled. And, seriously, some of the teachings currently available within the New Age movement are limited in scope, coming from an earthbound perspective. You begin to realize this once you contact other star-born and aware beings, folks from home. With the harmonic convergence in 1987, all the ancient predictions from seers and prophets about the wholesale destruction of the planet came to naught. Humanity had passed a major collective milestone whether or not they were aware of it in the outer. While there was still a lot of work to do, those who sought ascension during this cycle were now free to pursue it with all their hearts. Along with millions of other volunteer light workers, we had finally succeeded in permanently anchoring the light of the Christ upon this planet. Now humanity was free to pursue their evolutionary goal of eventually becoming a galactic civilization. Since about 1987, I have dealt with many of the vast list of possible ascension symptoms, starting with chronic fatigue syndrome. Curious, I just realized that I started having these problems when the harmonic convergence took place. I was living in the hinterlands of Montana at the time and had little contact with the outer world. And I was learning about the ascended masters, archangels, and spiritual hierarchy during this time, knowledge that would serve me well later when I encountered some of these unseen folk in new and different ways. From those days, I traveled many inner paths, consciously clearing, encountering, and passing through the early stages of awakening when the lies that have been propagated upon humanity suddenly come to the forefront of your awareness. I passed through anger, frustration, loss, betrayal, a long gamut of human emotions. As I stepped out of the unseen bounds of normalcy, I began to be identified by my Earth family as being odd and found myself cut off. I learned to cope with rejection and then finally to accept it as a badge of honor. I was just responding to a call from within and felt compelled to heed it rather than the concerns of family or friends. As a result, since the death of my parents, I have lived alone, and have come to enjoy the quietude that a solitary life can grant one. Since about 1980, I have known that I carry great light. I was told that by several people. Of course, at the time I didn't know what they were talking about, now I do. Since 1994, I have been aware that I anchored the light. I didn't understand that concept either, now I do. I have been given keys to future understanding all along the path that has led me to move through my fears, so that I might share a little of my journey with others. This past spring I experienced a lengthy illness which prevented me from working for a couple of weeks. It was about this time when I met online some friends and relatives from home. Revelations have been coming fast and furious ever since. It was through this new connection that I first learned that I was, in fact, a walk-in. While I had met other walk-ins and read about them, I never thought that I was one also. To find out that I was a walk-in was a bit startling, but it was what I was told next that really startled me. Not only was I a walk-in, but I was scheduled to walk out this year. While at first this was a bit of a shock to me, the more I thought about it, I knew it was true. My approaching departure explained a lot about my inability to plan for the future or to involve myself with the plans of others. It was not that I didn't care about people, I just didn't see myself working on all the projects that need to be undertaken to bring the new Earth into being. So there it is, my great revelation. I am scheduled to walk out this year, to be replaced by another Pleiadian, who will carry on with the mission that I have started here, by writing these pages and expanding our service on this planet. As my cousin Renanda wrote in a comment, these words are a prelude to disclosure. That is a mighty big statement to make, but I can see what he is getting at. Folks like us, who appear very ordinary, who work, eat, wash the dishes, fill up the car, we are doing extraordinary things outside the scope of understanding of most humans. By being willing to be and appear as human beings, as well as sharing our adventures on planet Earth, we will have lessened the emotional impact that will occur when disclosure truly happens and the first mass landings take place. Believe me, dear ones, it will be somewhat of a shock to look up to an 8-foot man in a silvery jumpsuit looking down at you with a gentle smile, emanating a soft golden aura. Most humans really are not ready for disclosure, so have some patience. Those of you who are aware that they are star seeds and light workers, it's up to you to open up and share about your experiences here. With each personal revelation, the awareness that we are one will grow. Back to the subject of walk-ins/walkouts, my Syrian friend, Trilia, wrote in a comment to the first portion of this story, I wish to add that each walk-in knows the soul that is walking out very well, as they are usually close friends or family from higher realms. The walk-in agreement or soul contract is lovingly designed by both parties involved and must also be approved by our karmic board. My designated walk-in is a Pleiadian sister of mine, so I know her well, and our soul energies match up pretty closely, as well. The process of braiding has now been going on for a couple of months, as my walk-in comes and goes, adjusting to the feel of being in a rather, for her, cramped space. She stands 7 feet 8 inches in her bare feet, while my human vehicle is only 5 feet 8 inches. And she must learn to adjust to our culture, my job and daily life, our language, just a huge assortment of things that we usually take for granted. Of course, as a walk-in, my Pleiadian sister would have received prior training, but still, when finally arriving in, so to speak, it's a new and strange sensation to one who has been used to a more refined, loving environment such as the Pleiadian Isles and life upon the ships of the Galactic Federation of Light. And on my side, I've had to become accustomed to the concept of leaving. It has taken me some time to come to grips with this realization. I have done a lot of inner checking and know it to be true. One of my recently recognized Chimeran cousins has just undergone the walkout process himself. With this living demonstration, I feel compelled to believe that I will be soon undergoing a similar process. I am fortunate to have him as an example, and as well as another mentor, in the person of another bright light, Trilia Gia, a dear friend and emissary from Sirius A. I am grateful to have these friends to advise and teach me of the new world I am soon to enter. It's almost like we planned it this way, and we did. One doesn't just decide one day to leave the planet and return to the ships. I'm close to ascension now. I can feel it, and since I am now fully accepting the change in status, the process is beginning to accelerate for me. I am in the process of letting go of everything. It is this detachment that is required in order to be cut loose from what ties me to the earth, and allow me to reascend gracefully to my new assignment on board the great mother ship, the White Winds. As a soul aspect, I will be and have been in the process of reblending with my higher self. I have written about the importance of bringing these essences within the physical vehicle, which is what those who are intending to live in the new earth will need to do. Instead, I will be reuniting with higher self and blending into her essence within 5D/6D off-planet, with my knowledge and experience augmenting her own. Renanda has written about his own early experiences in reblending and opening up to his 5D senses once again. At the end of this article, I will include a link to the website where you can read his story yourself. In the future, I can teach others what I have learned here, but it will be up to another generation to take up the mantle on earth that I am soon to leave behind. Although most of me will leave, for a time there will still remain a small portion of soul material, 2%, that will enable me to communicate through my walk-in. In fact, you may not even notice that Eliza is gone, until my walk-in feels more comfortable with making changes and expanding her service on the planet. After about a year or so, all of me will have re-blended with higher self. Yet, even then, I hope to continue working with and communicating through my walk-in, sharing my story of life on the ships and on other worlds. In this way, I will be contributing in my small way to the process of disclosure. In the last 100 years or so, the original light bearers from Venus and the Pleiades, as well as other primary worlds such as Sirius A, Andromeda, and Arcturus, have been greatly assisted by the efforts of many more recent volunteer light beings from near and far. Many of these beings make up the second wave of light workers, who will continue on with the work started long ago by Sanat Kumara and others. It is these souls and others who continue to incarnate or walk in who will lead those who within humanity are ready for ascension. It is these ones who will contribute greatly to the creation of the culture of the new earth during this next great cycle. Humanity is young, and for a long, long time, my people have watched over you. Now, you have ones who will become the watchers, who will guide and protect, teach and show you how to move into the new world that you are creating together. The time of my people being here is nearly at an end. Some of us will remain for a time, but I've been given my traveling orders. Do not grieve for my passing from this world, for I leave it in good hands, yours. Treat her well, and treat yourselves well. You deserve a world that is a gracious place filled with beauty, abundance, joy, and love. It has not been that for me, so I am tired, but will soon recover in the healing rooms of the White Winds. And when I have opened up to my 5D senses, I will be fully integrated with my higher self, Lady Tazjima. So I will continue to serve as part of the overall awareness of Lady Tazjima, doing whatever it is that she does. I have it on good authority that she is one busy lady who, along with her friends and relatives from Venus, the Pleiades and other star nations, have been contributing to Project Earth, aiding the evolution of planet and of all life upon it. In your dreams and astral travels, you may see me amongst the teachers at the University of Spirit aboard the great Pleiadian mother ships in the skies above your heads. Visit us at night, dear ones. I will be there soon, serving among family and friends from across the galaxy and universe. Other members of the first wave, who have been on Earth for a long time in terms of your linear years, will also be departing in the coming weeks and months and years. Part of the reason for writing these pages is to begin to prepare the minds and hearts of these brothers and sisters who will not be staying with the new Earth, but who are slated to return to their home planets or to go on to other assignments yet unknown. Those who especially resonate to these words will begin to know for themselves that another mission is about to reveal itself to them. We do not leave you entirely bereft, dear ones, as several of my Christed sisters and brothers will remain, holding offices within your spiritual hierarchy until such time as Christed earth-born sons and daughters can replace them. And beyond time and space as you know it, we are truly one in the Creator who made us all. I must say that I never expected to leave so soon. I can't say that I am sorry, for it has been a difficult and lonely tour of duty. I'm eager to go home. At the same time, I will miss some of the friends that I have made during my tour of service here. I have been fortunate, indeed, to serve on such a beautiful planet. I will return to New Earth when 5D is anchored upon the surface and the great crystal cities are revealed, as I have many relatives and friends currently serving in the etheric retreats already existent around this planet. Like the high elves of Middle-earth, my time here is nearly done. It will soon be time for me to return to the land of light, which for me is the planet Venus, and the Pleiadian Isle of Medina, as well as the great mothership of my uncle, the White Winds. There is a white ship for me and it will carry me away for a time, but my higher self will be ever present within your heart of hearts. My love and devotion go with you always, those who have become my sisters and brothers through the long ages of my sojourn among you. Namaste. I am Tazjima Amaria Kumara. Channeled by Elizabeth Erzesher. BlueDragonJournal.com